What's up, friends? Welcome to Drop-Ins with Dr. Awesome. I am Dr. Awesome, and we're going to talk a little bit about diegetic and non-diegetic sound. So sound is one of those things that is absolutely 100% way more important than most people think it is. Yes, it's true that video can exist without sound. GIFs are a thing, but if you're ever going to produce something that is longer than a couple of seconds, if there's no sound, your audience is going to get real bored real fast. That being said, the good news is there's really only two kinds of sounds. There's diegetic or motivated sounds, and this does include things like dialogue and talent speech, things like that, but it also includes other environmentally motivated things. Doors closing, keyboards clacking, wind through the trees. So, gnat sound, right? On the other side of things, there's non-diegetic sound, which is everything else, right? So this is going to be music, voiceover narration, really anything that isn't motivated by what's happening in the scene. And I know I already said that sound is important, but this is normally the point in the conversation people stop me and like, well, but how important can these things really be? And to illustrate this point, let's start with diegetic. Here, let's watch a clip with no sound. Now, the landscape in that clip was beautiful, sure, but without any naturally motivated sound, it feels flat and boring and not really alive. What happens if we add the sound of waves? Suddenly, the landscape in the clip is more real, it's more alive. But it's not quite there yet. This sound is still very one-dimensional. Let's add some seagulls and turn this into a real soundscape. So it's subtle and seems kind of tedious, I know, but if you really want to create impactful video content, these are the kinds of things that you really have to pay attention to. And speaking of the impact scale, this is pretty good, but it still needs just a little oomph to really make that emotional connection. By adding music, we can actually take this to a whole new level. Now, if you actually go to these clips, the music wouldn't be there, but the underscoring actually adds emotional weight to this clip. Here, check it out. Now, these ideas and concepts don't just apply to big sweeping B-roll. No, they apply to story-driving moments as well. Here, let's take a look at another clip with no sound. Again, something is missing. Visually, we can clearly see that the person is knocking on the door, but there's no sound, so there's no connection. Here, take a look at what happens when we add the sound of the actual knocking and some music in, and feel how much more tense this scene becomes. Now, of course, the hard part is learning how to balance all of these elements so that music is not overpowering or sending the wrong message, and making sure that sound effects line up the way they're supposed to. That's the hard part, is finding the balance. How do you get better at doing that? And the short answer is practice. This is a skill that has to be learned. But as you go forth shooting video and creating video content, really, the one thing you have to keep in mind in order to make that happen is that sound is important. I'll say it again, sound is important. As long as you think about that when you're doing stuff, you're going to be okay. All right. Keep shooting, friends.